Welcome to the channel. Been a while since I put out a video. Our first baby's due in less than a month, and been doing a lot of hay. I put out those hay videos, but you see me rake 1 acre, you've seen me rake 100, so I haven't really put out a whole lot of stuff in a while. Just been busy, but I've done something to Grandpa's old 3020 that I thought was worth putting it on YouTube. So if you guys follow me, you remember this is the old 3020. About backed into a corner, this thing's zooming in. It is 64 3020 power shift, diesel swap by me. It used to be a gas tractor. I diesel swapped it, and then I put a work saver skid steer deal on the front, which is worth every penny. But being a 64 model, a lot of you know it's what I call a dash model, not a side console. So here's your hydraulic lever, and there's your 3-point. And the 3-point on this tractor seems to move in the top maybe quarter of it. You get past down here, it doesn't really, you don't need that area. It just seems like mine moves the best from here to here is where I'm at most of the time with the lever. And if you spent much time on a dash model, it's okay, it works, gets the job done. Packing bales or something, it's not too bad. But if you're trying to back up to an implement or blade a driveway or something like that, it's hard to be precise because I'm only like 5'9" maybe, short arm, so I have to lean forward to adjust the lever, and it's hard to lean forward and look behind me. It's just, I've got 2 farm tractors. Well, I've got more than that, but 2 tractors I use a lot, put a lot of hours on. That's this one and the 4320, which is a side console. And once you get used to the side console or having your hydraulic and 3-point to the side, it's just a lot nicer. So I've been wondering what it'd take to convert this thing over to a side console. Is it even possible? That got me looking. I've been thinking about this a while. Like this hydraulics, there's your block up here. It's hard to move the whole block and everything to the side of the seat. But if we look at this, I'm just doing this off the phone today, so bear with me. That's just a cable. That's just a cable. That's all that is. And that cable comes back. Oh, I got stuff everywhere today. That cable comes back and it goes to the control under here. And that's what adjusts the 3-point control. So it's just cable driven. So I thought, you know, if I could just move that cable to where it was on the side, how would that be? And I thought, you know, I hate to move it. Then what if I wanted it up there or, you know, whatever. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? I have essentially added an arm beside the seat that hooks into the same linkage that the dash model. So if I'm in a situation where if I want to work it off the dash, I can. If I want to work it beside the seat, I can do that as well. And I know that the handle looks goofy, but I'm still perfecting it. That's just a piece of pipe with a PVC cap bead on the end of it and some electrical tape and some black paint. I'm not quite done with that, maybe. I want to get all the geometry right, but that's enough to test with. But as you'll see, if I move the other lever, they're hooked together, so I can use either one. The important thing is you've got to be able to get that cover off so you can work. So let me take that cover off and show you how I did the linkage and how that works. So that merely just slides off. That's a piece of flat stock that I used over there, and here's a piece of pipe that I flattened, and it fits pretty snug. So Let me take this off, and I'm going to need both hands. Let me pause the video for just a second. Get this cover off. Let me take this back cover off, and I will show you what I did here. Alright, I'm back. So, let me get down here for where to focus. Right there, maybe I can use a screwdriver pointer. Right there is the cable that comes from the dash. As you see, it comes up under the floorboard. And right there is a cable that came from the dash. And it's under these turnbuckles. And it hooked right there. There's that cable and there's that linkage right there. So I merely took a piece of... Oh, let me get a tape. We'll give you some accurate stuff here. That angle is a piece of 1¼ by 1¼ that actually was an old piece of an old bed frame. I do not throw any steel away around here. The measurement from here, that's a piece of old garage door. That's the thing that the garage door operator hooks to the garage door. That's 3 inches from where this pivot point is to the bottom is 3 inches. And in there, what I did is I put a bolt through right here and welded on the back side to make a stud sticking out. These 2 bolts were already in this cover. So I took a piece of 1¼ by 1¼ burned 2 holes, or drilled rather, 2 holes in it. I believe they were 4¼ apart. And then bolted them down with a stud sticking out. And then I put that arm on there, tack welded that nut. These aren't actually the turnbuckles I wanted. I wanted a turnbuckle that instead of having an eyelet, it had the kind of a C piece there where you put a pin through it. And the little hardware store I was at, I didn't feel like going to the big store. And those were $2 a piece, and I said, well, I'll just put 2 of them, make it work. Works fine. The length on these are, and I'm not saying my geometry is perfect. The length on these are about 4 3/4. Luckily, though, they're adjustable, so you can do whatever you want. But essentially, it just works in tandem. I messed around with it in the shop here. I think it's going to be really nice. Here's the handle. And you can't really make it in a big, tall handle because you want that handle up there. You don't want to be reaching under the seat. Now keep in mind, when you do yours, the seat will go down once you put weight on it. And this isn't perfect. When the seat goes down, this gets where it's on a rough field. It might tap this a little bit, but I don't see any big issues if I really get to bouncing hard. But you can't make it one stick because there's no easy way that you're going to get your cover unless you want to run it with a cover off, which looks kind of trashy. There's no easy way you're going to get your cover to up over there and down on it. Now, I know what you're saying. I told you I was converting a dash frame into a side console, and this isn't really a side console. This is a workaround. We don't have hydraulics levers back here. I know how I could do it on a tractor like this. I know I could get you hydraulics on the side like this, and see if I can trip over something and kill myself. It wouldn't be real hard to do, but I'm not going to do that on this tractor because we don't use the hydraulics very much. I use this tractor for a post hole digger. I use it to haul bales. I use it to do odd and end jobs, but the only thing that I really use the hydraulic, that valve for very much, because this tractor is not on the baler, it's not on the mower, it's too small. It would do it, but in a pinch, but it wouldn't be fun. The only thing I really use the hydraulics much for on this tractor is I've got a straight blade that's got a hydraulic cylinder for tilt. So that's pretty handy. That's on it quite a bit. Ever since we got the backhoe, though, we don't use this tractor as much for dirt work. Mostly just hay bales. But if I were to want to have hydraulic levers over to the side, have a remote controller over there, then I would do like we did on the loader here. This is straight off the pump. You can buy this fitting. A lot of you guys already know this. And this hose, it's going to my loader box, but that's straight off the pump. You know, that is one of the main feed lines off the pump on these tractors. So I would, instead of running to the loader valve, or technically if I wanted to do it, I could tee in right there. That's probably what I'd do. If I wanted to put remotes on the back of this, or I keep saying put remotes on the back of this. If I wanted to put a lever over there for the remotes, I'd basically add another remote is what I'd do. And I'd just tee in right there. So if you do that, let's talk about that. If you do that, you're going to come off here and you're going to come up to your valve and it'll run through, and then you're going to bring it back in. So it's got to have a way to get back to the tractor. It's got a way, your hydraulic oil, it's got to have a way to get back into your reservoir. And on these 20 series John Deeres, what most people do is they're going to tap, there's a nice piece of mud. They're going to tap and run this hose into the hydraulic filter. On a power shift, you're going to have 2 of them, like so. On a synchro, you should just have 1. But they're going to run right back into the hydraulic filter. So we're picking up hydraulic oil from that main hose valve, what am I talking about? From that main branch right there, and we're going to dump it right back in right here. So at that point, if I had my valve sitting here on the side, comfortable, easy reach, then I would bring my hoses back and mount back here a valve. Now, is it going to be original? No, it's not. It's not going to be anywhere near original. Just like this tractor is not original now. But my thing for that is that this was my grandpa's tractor. I wouldn't sell it for $1 million. But it's not going anywhere. So the way I look at it is, if I can do a few things to make it more user-friendly to me, yeah, it won't be part of his story. He never had a 3-point hitch control lever there, but it'd be part of my story if my kids and grandkids get this tractor. So if you're the originality, please better quit watching, because this tractor is not original anymore, but it sure is a lot nicer to use. So on a side note, in a previous video, I'd said that sometimes this tractor wouldn't go into gear, so if you went from forward to reverse, you had to bump the shifter sideways. And I pretty well knew what was wrong with it, but just getting time to do it. So what happened is, everything wears. See how thin that is? I didn't have another thin one, so I took this out and put a thick one. Just happened to have this washer, was almost perfect. But I shimmed this mechanism up. This mechanism, when you go back and forth, see how it's not moving now? What it was doing before is had a lot of movement in there. So all I had to do is take that C-clip off, put a thicker washer, we're good. And while you're already here and you're already having fun watching this video, I want to show you these power shift transmission shifters really are nothing to them. They are a lot simpler than a synchro range. So you're sitting there, okay, see this mechanism right here? Right now we're in forward. Now we're in neutral. Now we're in reverse. Nothing to it. As we come up, that does our 1 through 8. And as we pull down, that puts it in park. Pretty dang simple. 3 levers. One to go forward and reverse, one to do the park, and one to select 1 through 8. Now what I'm wondering here, and anybody else has some light on this subject, from what I'm seeing, technically these power shifts would have all 8 gears reverse if this was cut out all the way up to here. I'm not going to do that to mine. Don't need to go 15 miles an hour in reverse, but I'm just wondering if technically this tractor has all 8, reverse gears. It should, because it's going to use the same. If you're in first over here, that's going to be the same on this shifter right here, except for the only difference it's going to make is this right here. It's going to kick it over into the reverser. I don't know, I thought that was kind of neat. Video's getting kind of long. I don't know who left that here. People break into my shop and leave stuff, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I ended up doing to R3020. I haven't field tested it yet, but I have messed with it in the shop here quite a bit. It's pretty darn handy. So if you like what we're doing, give us a like. Hit that subscribe button. I know it's been a while. I've been off the channel for a while. I've been busy, but I've got a lot of new stuff coming up, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.